ran away with that game one on the Jace, even though it was, BDD and Cuzz, I think, who came in huge in the mid-late. And then Varus top, disgusting.
Yeah. Do you know what isn't banned away yet?
What isn't banned away?
Vayne top.
Oh, God. I do want to say, so earlier I said the last time Gen.G, I did say I looked up briefly, didn't get like a full spread, it was 2020. It was actually 2023 spring. I got corrected by Mingwin on Twitter, was the last time that Gen.G lost that opening series against T1.
Got it.
So it has been 3 years.
And
not as long.
How was their year in 2023? It was pretty good.
Yeah.
T1's was better at the end, but still was a pretty good year for Gen.G. The Lulu going to be banned away here. It's going to be a new addition to the ban list in the first 3. And in fact, they're just going to try and ban out Effort completely.
Yeah, and in particular, you think of the picks that are left available in the AD carry role and the pairings. So, Yunara, well, Lulu's gone. Corki, well, Nami's gone. I mean, Lucian also taken out in that regard, but I feel like these support bans of Lulu, Nami just kind of trim the power for a lot of AD carry picks without banning them directly. Last draft, we did see Gen.G banning Yunara. But this time, they're just going to be banning the supports that pair, well, one of the supports that pairs really well with it.
Yeah, it feels like Lulu bans both Yunara and Aphelios, and then the Nami bans both Corki and Lucian. Kinda, right? Like their best forms. So I think it's kind of cute going for that one, sort of getting a 4-for-2 deal. Not too bad. Poppy going to be taken away as well. Can be quite frustrating. Does open the floor to some more interesting picks as well. And let's just see what the last ban is going to be here for KT, and then try and work out what Gen.G are going to be picking up first, as Orianna is still available. That is going to be a big one, so that will be banned away.
Yeah, it makes sense to get rid of that one.
Jarvan? Question mark?
I mean, Jarvan's strong, but I just feel like face picking him. I mean, there's a lot of, like, the Ezreal's gone, right? And a lot of the mid laners who can sort of deal well with his Cataclysm, but I still feel like Jarvan face pick just commits so heavily before seeing what the enemy team has. Ooh. The Ambessa I like more, because obviously it is a flex, even though we've seen it more in the jungle. But keeps those options open, strong skirmisher, and a lot of power in that pick.
I like it. So let's see what KT's response is going to be. Yunara, still an option. Not a whole lot of great things to pair with it is kind of the issue.
We have seen Yunara kind of paired with whatever, even though the best pairing is Lulu. We've seen like Yunara and Nico be really popular. They are going to go for the Jarvan. So I haven't really seen what they're up against, but they're going to commit to that pick. It is a Cuzz special, if we're being honest, a pick he's had a lot of success on.
True.
And is just a strong jungler in general, but does leave room for Gen.G to try and make sure they have carries who can evade the Cataclysm and aren't just sitting ducks inside there.
Still just going to be the Yunara by the looks of things as the lock-in. They can, of course, pair something with it in their final pickup, but Gen.G now with a lot of opportunities to pick something into this Yunara if they would like to. Hold on to the flex. I actually would really like to see not a top laner and not a jungler locked in here. Make sure that they keep things as ambiguous as possible. And maybe just lock in a strong bottom lane that they do want to play into this Yunara. Could be a thought. Let's just have a look at what they do decide to do. Hovering over Duro momentarily. And it will just not be what I was talking about.
They'll just slam a
Wukong and Annie.
Wukong, Annie, that age-old combo when Annie was really firmly in the meta, Wukong, Annie was just winning games. It was last year when we were in Legend Rise group. Annie, Wukong was just winning non-stop. So
we're going to need to see some Rakan bans.
Yeah, I think so for sure. This is very much, okay, you've committed to this Yunara pick. We're going to kill Yunara. That is basically the game plan for Gen.G. We are going to try and dispatch off your AD carry here. And we see KT going for the Alistar. This is definitely a bot lane where you're like, look, we're going to get a lot of value out of the lane. It does mean you are going to be potentially quite weak in the lane because Yunara needs access to the wave to stack up a passive. You have an Alistar who doesn't really provide that early. The one thing I will say is we've had a lot of enchanters, a lot of ranged champions banned, and we are going into the next ban phase where they can target some more things. The Rakan ban comes out immediately. No surprise there. Rakan with this composition would be disgusting.
Yeah.
Would be honestly unplayable for
if you count
aiming.
Rakan as a ranged champion as well, I know he's sort of pseudo not, but That means that there are, what, 7 range supports banned away so far? So kind of ridiculous. Does mean that the Alistar might get through without too much of a difficult matchup, as there is the Nautilus to be taken away as well.
Yeah, Nautilus quite common into Yunara, just that point-and-click CC that can come through. Something to note,
I like
Nivea is available.
Oh, dear.
So you could pick like a lane just to completely choke them out.
And Nivea is hard countered by Annie, right? Because Annie's fire type.
Yeah.
So you can't play that.
I mean,
you're going to be banned away here as well.
I'm not sure Nivea fully fits with what the rest of Gen.G's comp wants to do, but the rest of the comp is already going to be diving in. So, you know, you could just pick that just to crush lane. That being said, you could also just go something like the Rel. We know that Duro has a lot of fun playing that, being in thumbnails.
Yep.
Involved with that.
Being a horse.
Yeah.
There is the Zaahen. I don't know about this.
He did get toned down a little bit on this patch as well. It was bigger hits to the jungle than top lane.
Yeah, so that's what he's going to be taking into the Ambessa. Certainly, as far as release date is concerned, there's not very many things that beat Ambessa, but Zaahen certainly was released later as, man, okay, Gen.G really want to win this lane, and with Caitlyn Elise, you can certainly do that.
Yep, I like this. I mean, it's not, you know, the Anivia, but it is just a combo that's like, we're going to crush lane. We're going to look to absolutely decimate.
Is. He's back. Okay, so remember, Effort hovered Teemo in the last game. This time, he's back to hovering Nasus.
I remember they lost last game.
Exactly.
In fact, every game that he's hovered Nasus so far this season, they've won.
Exactly.
And every game that he's hovered Teemo, they've lost.
So now Gen.G obviously going to be sweating because the correct hover has happened. It's also Akali for BDD, which could be a scary prospect. Obviously, Chovy should be okay for the early stages, but we've seen BDD really get some things done on this champ. However, not a massive amount of range.
Yeah, my concern here is that your lanes are not going to be in a great spot. Mid and bot in particular, Chovy should just be able to harass the Akali out of lane. Bot lane is going to be a terrible time, and Gen.G have gone, we're going to crush lane. And also, in terms of later responses, or just trying to like hold them accountable, Caitlyn can play a range and use a net to disengage to escape from like a Jarvan Cataclysm. Elise is hard to pin down with the repel.
Yep.
This should be a very comfortable 2v2 for Ruler and Duro. And I feel like they had a great game 2. Game 1 wasn't particularly impressed. Game 3, they have put all the eggs and we are going to crush aiming, not let them play the game. The composition has a lot of tools to take him out. The lane has a lot of tools to put him behind. So, you put this Yunara in the dirt, and I think KT just don't have any legs.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. I think there's going to be so much on the shoulders of Cuzz in this game. I mean, if this Jarvan can land some ganks that work out against a lot of these pushing lanes that Gen.G has, that could be what turns things around. But man, it's going to be tough. Let's get into the Rift. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for game number 3, our very first third game that we've had so far this season. And let's see who is going to be able to take it, as KT have a difficult draft to make work. But if they can make it through the lanes, maybe things will be all right. As BDD, he gets the ward down, but does have to take Shuriken backflip first, which doesn't feel fantastic.
You know, I was thinking about the fact that, if KT don't get aiming out of this lane, that comp doesn't really have legs.
Yeah.
Duro has all the legs.
He does.
Yeah.
A lot of legs.
Also, aiming... Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say that, like, Effort does have more legs than usual as well. But Duro really countered him by doubling even that amount of extra legs.
Yeah. Aiming goes cleanse, which completely makes sense, right, into Elise, into Annie. But it means the lane's even harder, because you don't have that barrier, you don't have that extra effective HP for these trades, so... He's just getting... Yeah, I mean, this is how we expected to go.
Yeah. But it's even harder when you have to watch it, All right, zoned away from some experience here as well. KT, it's just not exactly a great time. Speaking of not a great time, Perfect also struggling a little bit here in the early laning phase. Let's see what he can actually get done here. But yeah, level 2, not feeling like the greatest of moments. Should be able to you know, at least not die.
A little bit scary when Kiin gets a level 3.
Yeah, we are just going to pan away. It was too scary.
Yeah.
As now Canyon rotating over towards his top side.
There's no nice lane to look at.
No. Unless you're a Gen.G fan, in which case all of the lanes are nice to look at. As aiming with at least a Slurkle last hit, which feels good.
Honestly, the only way I can really see Gen.G struggling in the bot lane is if they just step too close to the tower and they get headbutted under it. That is the only thing they have to watch out for. Otherwise, they are kind of chilling. And even then, Duro being able to repel just means there's a good chance he just doesn't... It's such a risky thing that if you go for the headbutt, like the flash headbutt, and Duro repels it, it feels so bad.
Well, BDD trying to do what he can here, but Chovy throwing Pyroblast after Pyroblast at this Akali.
Yeah, so... Maybe we should just watch jungle if we want to find a lane that doesn't look rough for KT. There we go.
Yeah,
there we go.
PvE. Here we go.
Yeah.
Let's just stick with the PvE from now on. And also, Cuzz is, you know, well and truly on track to PvE at the same time as Canyon. As far, like, if we were to compare this to like Race to World First or something like that, like they'd be only like one or two bosses away from each other. I know a boss can take like 3 days, but still feeling all right as Duro is up here just protecting his Wukong. And yeah, it is like the good news is it's hard to find for KT. So let's just focus on Gen.G. Getting back into some form here. Game number 2 looked oppressive to say the least. And game number 3 starting off pretty fantastically as well. Cannon is going to go awry as Perfect does at least manage to pull Kiin back. But it doesn't really seem to be too worried about it.
I think one of the things as well with this matchup is once Ambessa gets the Eclipse, it's going to be so much worse. So that's a while away, but it's going to be in a rough spot. It's a good repel from Duro, and that's kind of what really adds to the issues. If you're playing into like Lux, like I feel like the Elise is somewhat a bit more similar to Morgana in the sense that it's not just a frustration of the harass and the setup of the Caitlyn, but also it's really hard to actually punish it, to engage on. Morgana obviously has the black shield you can put on either target, but at least being able to repel like that is a real pain. At least with Lux, you know, if you do get on top of it, you can actually engage.
Yeah. Oh man. Kiin does take a turret shot, so there's at least something.
Effort's got nowhere to go.
Oh no!
Okay, he walks on the front.
Thank goodness. Avoids the cupcake. Feels good. But Gen.G going to be able to grab 2 plates so far in this bottom lane. And no real end in sight as far as the bad times are concerned for KT. 1,000 gold is the lead approximately, as it does tick back to that number for real this time, Aux.
I think, oh yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I think Kiin might be able to get, he's pretty close to a second plate top as well, so.
Oh man.
Not going super swimmingly. Oh, BDD going for a roam though. This could be big.
Well, let's see whether they can actually lock down Ruler, who does take a bit of damage from aiming, who has at least been able to get towards a minion wave.
Yeah, so see, the thing is, right, they've spent the entire lane hugging that turret. BDD goes missing from mid lane, and suddenly aiming is running at you.
I wonder what's happening.
A little suspicious. Just a little bit.
They seem to have sussed it out as well.
Gen.G got the memo.
Yeah, Cuzz going to be able to take a crab here. Looks like the first Drake not going to be a Chemtech this time around, going to be a Mountain instead. And that does mean that going for this first Drake is going to take a really long time. Not sure whether any of our junglers are really going to be looking towards that one, although we can see that Cuzz is in the back of the pit, at least clearing out vision for now.
Yeah, so the fact that we actually had Cuzz, BDD moving towards bot, the wave bounce back has given Cuzz a window into the Dragon, but I don't think you have much time to do this. Dragon resets. Chovy has tons of prio mid. This is very risky for KT to go for.
Yeah, right now Effort is rotating over. Let's see, Canyon and Duro here, the monkey and the spider.
It feels like Canyon was doing blue, and he was like, wait, they're actually doing Dragon? Or not? He's like, I just want to take the blue. Wait, really?
So ultimately, the blue doesn't get stolen, but they might actually challenge Cuzz for this Gromp. You can see KT playing pretty frightened at this point in time, as Canyon might be just heading over towards this blue once again. We'll be starting that one up.
Okay, Chovy's linked up as well. He has Tibbers available, so scary stuff.
Could be a 4v4, but you can see aiming is in that bottom lane. So KT needs to be very, very careful. They will be sacrificing their blue buff, but at least Cuzz collects his Gromp. And the Yunara gets some much-needed time in the bottom lane by herself.
I do want to make a note that there's a...
Would you like a pen?
I'm okay. I have my own.
All right.
Little bit of a farm discrepancy in the mid lane of 32.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we always talk about Akali weathering the storm.
The storm is raging.
Yeah. Quite viciously. I mean, Annie... Okay, Chovy is one of those players pretty good at farming. Yeah. Annie is also one of those champions pretty good at farming, like the reset on the Q on the minion.
Yep. And giving you infinite mana if you are just last hitting with it over and over again.
Yeah.
Feeling pretty good. Cuzz going to be taking his red for now. I mean, okay, to add a little bit of like a half full cup, never mind. BDD just going to take a bear to the face. The half full cup is that we haven't had a first blood yet.
Okay.
You know, and Canyon will be able to take down this dragon, most likely. But, you know, 8.5 minutes, first Drake, not end of the world here, as KT really do just want to stop this laning phase from happening. They want to get these quests finished and then just, you know, go about their business. As there is the Drake going down, Duro back to this lane right now. And I guess, like, one of the positives is that, you know, an Elise isn't that valuable after the laning phase.
Yeah. Right? I mean, Alistar, you know, you pick those for the teamfight value. It's also Mountain Infernal. So when you're playing a team who has a lot of lane priority, lane focus.
Oh, KT looking for a potential all-in angle here. As aiming's level 7, effort's only level 5, but they still manage to get the headbutt back. There's the repel as the flash after from aiming, and he gets the dash to lock down first blood. Still, he is going to have to sacrifice himself for it. Doesn't have... Oh, effort! He's going to be able to get the Triumphant Roar to heal himself back up. So they do get the first blood, but immediately the punish does come in.
Yeah, honestly, I think KT overall okay with that. Bit of an overstep there from Duro, just gets caught out. But considering how rough the lane has been, happy to get a kill onto aiming specifically. He was the one who got rewarded with the kill credit. And let's take stock of actually where the bot lane is. Aiming's actually up in gold.
Yeah.
In terms of plates, they lost those 2 plates, sure. That's about it. The farm's not actually that much of discrepancy.
And aiming was actually ahead in farm for a little bit, I'm pretty sure.
This is the weird thing to me, is aiming popped ult, and Duro just walked so far forward and wasn't ready to repel the pulverize.
Yeah.
Like, it was clear that he was trying to bait for Canyon, but it was just, you have to be ready to dodge the CC.
Was that heal or Triumphant Roar? It might have been.
That was heal. That was heal.
Never mind. I do like just saying Triumphant Roar, but it just wasn't really the thing. Yeah, it's a bit fun.
Yeah, I mean, Gen.G are ahead, sure, but they're not ahead enough that I'm like, okay, game is over.
No. And honestly, KT's composition will be able to do things if they're able to, you know, stop this lead from being on a more insurmountable side of things. Right now, surmountable, we would say.
Yeah, I love that guy, surmountable.
Oh, he's great. He's a really good horse. As aiming does have effort and Cuzz in the area. 2 versus 3, not exactly the greatest for Gen.G. Is effort just going to get on through? Yeah, just keep going. Drive on buys. Yeah, the Ambessa doesn't make her way down towards this bottom lane. Gets exhausted immediately. As that was actually Duro getting exhausted. But still, Kiin uses the teleport and gives Perfect a whole bunch of time.
Yep.
Bear.
It was a good flash, though, from Rula. Basically flashed exactly when he had to. The headbutt connects.
Yeah, he's probably just dead.
He is just doomed. So, evading that gank angle, the effort's able to fight. Oh dear.
Cuzz gonna have to flag and drag to get himself out of there as aiming. Almost just dead. I believe that was a headshot that did come on forward. There is the Cyclone, and down goes aiming. Canyon will pay for it, though, as Cuzz keeps himself alive. Peacemaker, not quite enough. As, man, really would have liked to have that ulti, although there is a cow that could stand in the way. Kraken Slayer done a little bit late here for aiming from the grave, but KT keeping things even as far as these kills, and the gold lead has not swayed.
So close there. Also want to note that Rula's gone for Berserker Greaves early, so maybe if he had a bit more AD, a bit more punch behind his autos, his damage, maybe we could have got the kill. But Yeah, aiming gets completely chunked out here. And they're like, let's just go for the dive. Cuzz even steps in the trap, but look how much damage Canyon takes because there's no minion wave immediately tanking the tower. The Spiderlings, I think, may have helped.
They are.
Yeah. Duro there.
Looking pretty good. And Canyon and Cuzz extraordinarily even in this game. We mentioned already that this game is going to be largely about how much Cuzz can get done. So far, a decent amount. But would probably have liked to be a little bit more impactful. Just have to see how Gen.G go about navigating this mid to late game as we are heading towards it. Protect the President is likely to be the game plan here, as Ruler will be not in a whole lot of threat once all of the dashes and engage are used up, right? Like, he can kind of shoot everyone and they cannot respond eventually. And that's going to be a difficult time.
I think the main thing is BDD and Perfect getting backline access, right?
Yeah.
Finding angles to get onto Ruler. Because Gen.G going to fly forward, play aggressive, and if Ruler's left isolated, that's where it can be a little bit scary.
Effort is ready to do a thing. Scar Award, beautifully done. You love to see it.
Nailed it.
As sort of quietly, the top lane has been a wash, which I guess is kind of nice for Perfect, who is struggling a little bit in the earlier stages, but haven't really seen too much else out of it.
Especially Kiin now has the Eclipse completed, so he's in a pretty strong position, but not really finding angles to push that. Dragon is up and available, and Gen.G are in position to try and start it. Note that now the top laner has TP, so neither one seems to be joining for this fight.
Likely to be a 4v4. As we can see, over the wall goes Duro. But he goes up into the sky. Doesn't exactly have very many opportunities to come back down. But there's a Cyclone from Canyon. Gets in, gets out again. Aiming going to be okay for the moment as BDD has found the backline, but does have to use that ulti to get himself out. Canyon locks up the Dragon. Good pulverize there as the Cataclysm takes out Chovy. Cuzz now trying to survive as well as the Repel comes down, and Duro will go 1-for-1 with the enemy jungler. It's a Hextech Soul this game as well. Gen.G licking their lips as they see that one come up as they've got 2 dragons already in pocket.
Such a high roll from Gen.G to get that Hextech Soul, considering it was a Mountain Infernal early. The fight doesn't quite go that way. They get the Dragon, but some missed executions, I feel like, and we saw, see a TP coming in now from the Cow. I don't think they will be able to get him.
Well, Headbutt Pulverize does come on through there as Kiin gets pulled back in a little bit of a way, but not really too worried otherwise.
Yeah, so Canyon could secure it with the Q Smite on the Dragon to get it.
Oh, effort just to try and stop Canyon there. Does have that Pulverize, but now Kiin comes back. There's the Headbutt. As they get the knock-up, but Kiin, that's shields for days, as he does have that Eclipse, and now Perfect could be in trouble as well. Cuzz is moving on in, though, as now Canyon is just dead. They're going to turn it. The Grim Deliverance is good, and Public Execution does basically nothing, and BDD is able to help out. It's a double for Perfect, and Cuzz looking to try and lock down Duro, who's running the wrong direction. Lands the Cocoon, but Cuzz still has the passive available. In the meantime, we've got AD carries fighting towards the bottom side of the map as Ruler is going to get the flash out of aiming, and aiming would have died. If that Peacemaker had landed, that would have been a dead Yunara, so nicely done there. But KT, some swift kills.
Yeah, Gen.G just fall apart on the top of the map. You know, they managed to get a free kill on the effort, but they overstep.
Effort? Was that just a straight-up flash? Did he just think he had Hex Flash? He may have thought he had Hex Flash.
No, he was unlocking Hex Flash.
Aha! There we go. There's the value. I love it. I think, you get more value the more you put things on cooldown.
There you go.
Flashes per game, guys. That's what it's about.
Absolutely. But now we're in a situation where, well, we'll see the Dragon Fit. So Canyon managed to secure this with a Q Smite a little bit later, but, we saw Duro going for this angle. The stun is blocked by effort, which results they go for this engage, but aiming and Cuzz both get out. And look at BDD on the backline. He doesn't kill Ruler, but he provides so much threat. The follow-up's not there. And now all the engage has been used, so aiming is just free hitting. And Ruler and Canyon have to back away. Duro does manage to get the kill trade, but
Cuzz lived for way too long
in
that exchange, but this is where it all went wrong for Gen.
Well, I think the kill on the effort's completely fine, but you're never killing Perfect here, ever. He has ult, he has flash. And then he goes, I actually can just kill Wukong. And Canyon tries to pretend he's just W.
Yeah, it was a bit cute.
Doesn't fall for here. Kiin tries to ult BDD as soon as he arrives, but he's a little bit early. Mistimes it and ends up just, airballing it.
Yeah.
So a really big misplay from Gen.G, but also just KT coming in clutch and Perfect. 2-0 now. Really was the one who
good.
set up that play with his turnaround on a canyon.
And we know that Zaahen can be very, very dangerous in later game teamfights as well. The Grim Deliverance really does create so much area of control. And Gen.G are going to have to be really wary of this guy as he builds towards item number 2 by the looks of things.
Especially
coming up pretty soon.
Gen.G's comp does kind of struggle to kill in terms of like, they have a lot of burst. So killing someone like Aiming, easy. Killing someone like Perfect twice, a little bit more difficult.
It'll be a tough one, as well as the fact that, you know, the classic Caitlyn trough situation might be mitigated a little bit with how powerful the 2 items that he's going for, 1 and 2, are going to be. But it's still, like, he's going to have no attack speed or anything like that moving into this mid-game. Could be difficult for them to get that damage down consistently, as Cuzz is just kind of running around the enemy jungle with impunity, and KT have a 1,000 gold lead. 1 minute on this Hextech Dragon as well, so if KT managed to take control of this game from here, the Quadra Hextech Soul is a possibility.
Pretty big. But that next Dragon's going to be the main thing. If Gen.G get that, it's going to put a lot of pressure on KT for the rest of the game. Yes, KT are ahead, but there's not much in it, if we're being honest.
Nope. And the composition is still good out of Gen.G, right? We know that they have tools. They can start fights, and, you know, like the throw a bear at them, throw a monkey at them combo is pretty good.
Yeah, Duro's gone Bandle Pipes.
Oh, he's Piper
on Elise, which in terms of vibes, great. In terms of what it's achieving for the team,
I think that increases the amount of vibes. The more useless it is, the more vibes it gets. You know, that's how it kind of goes. As Cuzz, he's making his way down towards Kiin here. Doesn't want to give him a great angle, but still, Kiin is going to throw down the ulti. Flag and Drag is going to lock him up, and I don't know whether he's going to escape from this one. Backflip from BDD, but he is surviving for a really long time. There's a Cataclysm in the end. Does no damage at all, but sends a message as BDD locks up his first one of the game. Aiming is just dashing after Duro here as the ace in the hole comes down. Perfect, just trying to defend this outer turret, but man, Crystalline Overgrowth and Ruler is going to put an end to that one, as KT should be able to take this 3rd Dragon of the game.
Yeah, just picked the worst time.
And, oh my goodness, if Canyon got in there, there's a headbutt pulverize. Effort is dead. Okay. KT now underneath their outer turret in the bottom lane. BDD just trying to backflip his way towards it as best he can. The Slurkle value, absolutely astronomical, as Gen.G will back away.
Kind of weird play from Gen.G on the back end, because they got the mid tower, they got the kill, but then they just like overcommit bot and end up losing their own mid tower in return.
Oh yeah, Cuzz also just going to get cocooned. Does get a bunch of his health bar back, and Chovy is going to get taken down by BDD. 5-point strike going to do it. Great repel avoids the shuriken, but still has to flash Hexgate to get out. That was a big cute from Duro. He is going to survive. However, KT's still just getting stuff around the map.
It's been such a scrappy passage of play, but ultimately KT got the dragon. That's what they wanted. They got a good amount of damage onto that mid tower, and they get this bot tower as well, so
Perfect is becoming a large problem.
He absolutely is. Effort is having a problem.
He is having a problem. It reminds me of that thing in Dutch that Chronicler taught us.
Oh, I remember that one. But he found a solution. He has Hex Flash again, unlocked and available.
There we go, perfect.
Yeah, Cuzz ends up just face checking here.
And get the ward down value.
Aiming is a big problem when he gets a chance to auto-attack, doing a lot of damage. This was just a very sort of scrappy...
Having a look in live, Duro not a whole lot of places to go as he's just dead. Aiming grabs his 3rd of the game, and he's Yunara! This is a champion that can become a massive problem, like you were saying. And that is just going to continue here as, okay, Effort taking a little bit of a drive towards the top lane, is looking to try and knock up Chovy. And Chovy is going to do the walking away thing.
If he hit Chovy, maybe he could pull in a headbutt. BDD wasn't that close.
No one was there.
BDD was a little, kinda, maybe. It would have looked cool.
It would have definitely looked cool.
It would have looked sick. That is, again, vibes, impeccable. Actual impact, less so.
Honestly, Effort needs a Bandle Pipes, really, as he's Hex Flashing into the fight here as well. Perfect. Losing some health bar, but isn't really too worried about that. He is Zaahen, as it turns out. As Effort going to cleanse himself. BDD dash cannoning over, looking for an opportunity here, but does get on top of Ruler now.
Wow.
And executes him. Perfect execution comes down. The bottom lane is obliterated, and Effort survives. My goodness, effort has just kind of gone crazy towards the end of this series, for better or worse. Is now Kiin looking for the opportunity. The public execution onto aiming is perfect, and Chovy dashes on in. Grim Deliverance is mainly against KT this time as Perfect goes down, and there is the counter punch.
A little bit of an overstep there from KT. They managed to take out Ruler, but they end up paying pretty heavily. Perfect not able to get the res in that situation. This was just Duro. You know, we've all been there.
Yeah.
See that juicy control award?
I'm so safe because I've got Repel.
Yeah. Level 7 Banal Pipes Elise, not strongest.
6 levels behind BDD, by the way.
2 levels behind Effort as well. And here, stuns BDD. It's like, I'm helping. I got you. It's not enough.
No.
Just gets obliterated. But here, there's a bit of the overstep that comes through, and this ends up just being the power of this Wukong Ambessa core. And this is what Gen.G's comp wants to do. It's just kill aiming.
Yeah. And it
you
works.
see, look how close the Grim Deliverance was to stacking it up. Not quite able to get it there. But yeah, so they're very good at killing aiming. So even when he's fed, it's still a little bit of a concern. But the backline for Gen.G, it's kind of like you guys are on your own. You know, figure it out. We'll do our jobs. Yeah, that's it. There's nothing else. There's
I was waiting for the follow-up, but I think your point was there isn't a follow-up.
Yeah, there isn't. There really isn't. It's just Ruler and Duro.
Maybe that's the engage for Gen.G, is enemy team kills Ruler and Duro, and then we've got it from here.
I think it'll start to work well when it's only Duro who dies, and Ruler stays alive and can do some damage too. It's a big ask, I know.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That would help a lot.
I think one of the big problems in this game is that Canyon is so fed. This Wukong is kind of massive, almost has 3 items done. And he just, when he presses Cyclone, KT's health bars just kind of evaporate.
Yeah, and everyone's short range, so he is getting a lot of value on a lot of targets.
Well, Perfect does complete his Stride Breaker. There is 2 items on Kiin as well, as
Oh, that feels bad.
is just going to tank that one.
With the Celestial Opposition as well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Perfect. Not going to go for anything. Duro is rotating over.
Okay, Dragon's up.
This is the big one.
Yeah, would be 3rd again for Gen.G, but KT happily just keep stacking them up if they can, but Gen.G moving into contest. Look at BDD who has this flank through mid.
Yep, Kiin as well with a flank angle, can always get there with the public execution as well as aiming with control of the Drake for now. So we toggle the vision, Perfect makes his way in. Ruler, they just go executing, they take him down. Aiming now in trouble as well as both AD carries just hit the floor, but it's Cuzz that locks down the Dragon. BDD doesn't have his ulti, but does still have access to a fair bit of damage. Still the Grim Deliverance, and Perfect is the one to take out Chovy. There are so many decoys in this game as Canyon is going to have his one taken down, but then he dies as well as KT. I guess they don't need their AD carry. The rest of them get the job done.
I think it's just so hard to cut through Perfect, especially once he gets his passive stacked up. When you burn all these tools on taking down the enemy AD carry, Ruler was just never going to survive. You saw BDD wrapping around, and really, it was just neither AD carry got to play the game, but you know, aiming had teammates who were able to offer up more in the extended fight. Now they're looking for Baron.
And aiming knew what his job was. He built a shield though before that fight as well.
Didn't help, but you know,
wanted to try and survive. There is no Canyon. This should be a Baron over to KT. Gen.G going to try and make them work for it, as we can see here. As it's going down lower and lower, there's the knock-up. Cuzz still in range of this Baron, but you can see now these health bars are just going down. Kiin! Oh, Perfect could have just turned around and taken him out. It's a triple kill for Ruler. And yeah, you got the Baron, but was it worth it?
Yeah, you lost so many members. Remember, Baron just doesn't give us much gold this year, so, you know, you lose the Baron buff on a lot of your members. Gen.G get a chance to push in. They get a lot of gold from that too. This doesn't feel as good as you'd hope. They got the Dragon in this fight. We're going to have a look at, but look at Ruler, by the way. BDD and Perfect. This timing on that flank. Duro like moves over, heals him, and goes, yeah, that's all I got for you, buddy. Doesn't even switch to human form. He just knows.
Didn't even play the Vandal Pipes.
Yeah,
man.
He's like, you're on your own. Comes into the fight. And we did see Chovy and Canyon manage to blow up aiming, but that Cataclysm into Grim Deliverance combo from Cuzz and Perfect was so slick, so good, and just eliminated them when they had no cooldowns. This is where it got a little goofier.
Yeah, KT couldn't work out whether to burn or turn, and they did kind of both.
Yeah, they did burn. And they did turn in circles.
Yeah, they turned into corpses.
Yeah. At least Cuzz managed to dash away.
Get out, yeah. I mean, if they had lost the Baron as well, it would have been worse.
Yeah, if someone had walked up and just stolen the Baron when there was no jungler there, that would have really... I mean, you couldn't imagine that happening, you know?
No, never.
Crazy.
No, I've never heard of that happening ever. Not once in my life have I seen something like that. As Cuzz throwing flags at them, public execution does come down in response, but there is the pulverize as well. Kiin going to get punished a little. Yeah, half of his health bar and his ulti.
I would have gone for personally, but I think it was just fishing, seeing if the follow-up could come through, but Cuzz able to dash away.
Well, Baron is still here, remember, so these
Ow.
Yeah, things are being stacked up. Effort does sacrifice most of himself in order to try and keep that cannon alive, which ultimately doesn't really work out.
Yeah, Ruler still doesn't have LDR. He is starting to do a lot of damage, but you don't do much damage when you're dead, unless you're playing Kog'Maw or Karthus.
True.
Or like old Zyra, you know, the pre-week.
Yeah,
one with the little flower.
I always got so much value out of that passive.
Yeah. Honestly, it fit Zyra so well because Zyra is just press all your buttons and die. That is the play pattern.
It was actually the best. You know, as long as you got the Stranglethorns off and then you died, get that true damage.
Yeah.
Oh, man, did so much damage in team fights. But we digress. That was 1 billion years ago. And now KT still utilizing this Baron pretty well. As you can see, a lot of pressure here towards his bottom side as the inner turret had already fallen in mid. Haven't quite got this one just yet. This siege minion was doing a fair bit of work as they're looking to steal away the red buff. It is taken by Cuzz. Canyon not quite able to lock that one up.
I just love the determination. It's like it's going for a Baron or a Soul or an Elder or something. It's
I mean,
like,
I feel like
I have to go for it.
Every time his camps are stolen, he takes it personally.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I know we talked earlier this game when Cuzz invaded him and he just kind of adjusted the path. You know on the inside it's really stinging.
Oh, he's seething.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay, game is still very close. KT have got the last 2 dragons, 40 seconds till the next one. Either team has a chance to move to 3, but it feels like the game is at this point, if you get a convincing ace, you could just end, potentially, so it's a little scary. But with how this game has been so back and forth, so close, letting either side get this 3rd dragon is going to be a big problem. Right now, Gen.G have got control of the area, and when you have a Caitlyn, when you have an Annie or Wukong, so hard to approach, so hard to move in against these champions. So
setup is so important. Setup is absolutely what you're looking for, as the blue buff is secured by KT. Pretty close there. As we have a flanking teleport from Perfect. It looks like KT do want to start off this fight right now. Effort already taking a fair bit of damage here as Cuzz engaged on by Gen.G. Gets the Cataclysm over onto Chovy as BDD gets in amongst it, but he's taken down very, very low. Chovy the first one to die. His Ruler is dead as well. KT playing it beautifully, but now is the counter-punch time. Kiin locks up Cuzz. That is the smite now dead. But KT still have a man advantage, aiming, hitting the dragon, and BDD managed to make it out to safety. Perfect. Looking to try and dash forward, gets a knock-up onto Duro, who does have a minion to dash towards, but there's the pulverize out of Effort, and he's able to take down his opposite number. Hoof to the head. And now Canyon likely to die here as well, as aiming chases him down. That is 4 dead, and KT, they've forgotten about the Drake. They want to break the base.
BDD got so much value there on the Akali, jumps straight on a Chovy, it gets Ruler 2 as a bonus.
I just have to say, watching BDD play League of Legends is one of my favorite things. And it's been really nice to do it in the last few team fights. Let's have a look at it again.
The Hex Gate's helping out so much to get these flank angles. They just jump straight on a Chovy and they turn the engage round onto Cuzz. Cuzz doesn't really care, he's got GA, does his job. BDD jumps over Chovy, takes him out, jumps straight on a Ruler, 2 carries for 1. Call that 1+1 in Korea.
Yeah, we do.
And then they just don't have gas in the tank after that. They spent so many resources trying to peel, and they're dealing with this looming threat off the Yunara, off the Zaahen, who are pushing forward. And you see Canyon's even like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I've got nowhere to go. I'm just going to like dash in.
Yeah, he wanted to
try and get damage down.
The whole time, Canyon was trying to kill BDD because BDD went down so incredibly low, ultimately dies to him in the end. And it is KT that take down that 3rd Drake. So Soul Point, what I was talking about, like largely facetiously earlier on in this game, KT could make it to Quadra Hextech Soul.
Yeah.
That's a lot of Hextech. We know that Too much Hex Tech is a problem.
A lot of value on these champions. Like a good few of them who get good value from the attack speed, the ability haste, not going to complain about. But yeah, Hex Tech Soul in general, very good. Because we're seeing all these examples where they get the flank on a ruler and they take him out. And it just feels like he has nowhere to go. If you're slowed as well, it's just doomed.
Yeah.
Also, Ruler has got LDR. He's got a ton of damage, but no survivability.
All effort looking to try and turn this into engage. Only gets a knock up onto one. As now BDD looking for the angle. Perfect execution, but doesn't find. They get BDD and they take him down. Chovy manages to land it, but Kiin is also dead. Duro trying to get something done here, but it doesn't quite work out. But this time, aiming is alive, and Ruler gets put in the Cataclysm and taken down. Gen.G identified BDD as the problem and forgot that aiming existed.
Once again, they put so much effort into trying to peel BDD, and the rest of the team is ready to clean up. Cuzz charges forward to take out Ruler, and aiming is there to pick up the triple, and now they're gonna look to end the game.
KT with a perfect week against T1 and Gen.G. That is what we're looking at as aiming finishes it off, grabs the ace, and the Nexus is the last to go down. KT Rolster, 2-0 in the first week of LCK 2026.
I mean, I feel like the T1 upset already was a crazy way to start the season. That was enough. The fans were overjoyed. And you were thinking, like, the roller coaster, how high can it go?